Hey everyone, welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. This is Some Type of Artist. Last time we went to the Ice Cavern and had a bunch of funny stories that I was telling about the past and whatever. But anyway, so we also freed King Zora from being in Red Ice, which means we can complete the Biggoron side quest to get the Biggoron Sword. That is. We have this... I still think it's so ridiculous that you got a prescription from eye drops. I don't know. It's just funny. Maybe it wouldn't be so funny if it was like in Twilight Princess, like, where there was an actual doctor in the market. But, yeah, whatever. So, I'm gonna pull up my Ocarina here, because I am gonna check something really fast. So I actually did go and look up to see if anyone else had, you know, mentioned anything. If I searched for, like, easy Biggoron Sword about the shortcuts I had started using when I started doing them a few years ago. And no one on YouTube seemed to have done it. At least I typed easy Biggoron Sword into the search, and no titles had said anything of it anyway. But, when I searched in Google, there was a forum post on GameFAQs. Haha, you missed. There was a forum post on GameFAQs, and like most things I find on GameFAQs forums, it involves an innocent question followed by a bunch of seriously rude responses, for whatever reason. So, at the risk of, quote-unquote, giving tips for a almost 20-year-old game now, I am going to... not that way. I am going to actually show off this this little trick here, and still think it's impressive. Oh, but you know what? I never came back here to talk to Mito afterwards. There was actually something really cool Mito said. Oh, I see. Saria won't ever come back. But I made a promise to Saria. If Link came back, I would be sure to tell him that Saria had been waiting for him. Because Saria really liked... you don't say. Hey, you. If you see him somewhere, please let him know. And also, I'm sorry for being mean to him. Tell him that, too. And that, I don't know. I mean, we've had such a brief interaction with this kid, but since we all know him as, like, the jerk of Kokiri Forest, and we have it in our heads that, like, he's this, you know, antagonist to just our very everyday lives when we were a kid living in the forest. I don't know. There's just something about him coming to terms with everything, that Saria liked Link and not him, and I don't know. There's just something cool about, like, I don't know, Mito coming to, like, some kind of closure with all that crap that he was doing to Link. Like, he, like, honestly regrets his behavior. And it's just, it's really, I don't know, I always just thought that was really interesting and sweet, and one of the moments in the game that makes you wish, you know, Link could react. Please, say something. I don't know. Show a facial expression. I don't know. So... the last two parts of this trading quest are going to be timed, and the first one doesn't really give a lot of people trouble, but I know the second one often is brought up. I mean, I don't know, but whenever I watch reviews or other Let's Plays, they usually come pretty close down to the wire to making it in time. I wouldn't call it, like, hard or anything, but if you're not familiar with the world layout, I guess it could be pretty difficult because of... it will seem like the timer's really strict. So this needs to go all the way to Lake Hylia. It wouldn't be so bad if we had our shortcut to Lake Hylia again. But unfortunately, Zora's domain is covered in ice, and, you know, for whatever reason, it's never unfrozen in the game. At least not until the credits, but, you know, a lot of good that does you there. So normally I just swim down this river, grab Epona, and go, but something the guy did bring up when I was looking on that forum was that the Lost Woods shortcut actually is shorter than just floating all the way downriver. And I'm not sure about that. I've never done it this way before. I am curious. Oh, I didn't want to go there. You'd think with all the directions, it would be just super easy to, you know, go in any one, and your chances of coming out at the entrance would be better, but whatever. So let's see. I don't know. I can't really remember how much time I have left over whenever I do this particular part of the quest. But I'm just going to go a little bit further here, because Epona is a little annoying to... Oh, not that one. That one. Epona's a little annoying to turn around in those trees. In fact, I usually have her turned around and ready to go as soon as I come out. What's up, Epona? Let's go for a swim at the lake. Oh, and if she doesn't get caught on trees, that would help too. So yeah, needless to say, you pretty much need Epona to do the last part of this quest. I'm not really sure if... I remember I was talking before about if you really needed Epona for anything. I still don't really think you do, but she definitely does make going across the world a hell of a lot more relaxing and better and stuff like that. But yeah, this one's not so bad. Even if you didn't take the shortcut, if you just went all the way down Zora's River, it's really not too bad at all, just because the current takes you... Well, no, when you're an adult, actually, you're too tall for the current. But anyway, we still made it here with no time to spare. I mean, with plenty of time to... Jesus, dude, get your words together. So, for this one, I would turn Epona around, just so you don't have to waste time doing it when you get out. Alright, Mr. Eyeball Frogman. Hello there, son. I'm researching the process. You said all this before. Oh, because we have to give it the item. Darn it, dude. Whoa, wow! I haven't seen an eyeball frog like this since Zora's domain froze over. These eyeballs are so delicious. Tonight I will cook fried eyeballs for the first time in a long time. Such great stuff. Please say thank you to King Zora. Eh? What? These are for making Biggoron's eye drops. I love how he just stopped shaking his arms. Oh, how disappointing. You should have said so in the first place. So, we get the world's finest eye drops from him, complete in this ridiculous star vial. It's hilarious. This medicine does not have any preservatives in it, so it won't last long at this temperature. Run as fast as you can to Death Mountain. You're young, you can do it. Yeah, I don't know, this star-shaped vial makes me think it's like a little girl's glitter nail polish or something. So we have 4 minutes to get up to Death Mountain. So what I see a lot of people do is just go up to Kakariko Village and then, please get on, thank you. And then up the Death Mountain Trail, they take the bean, but the bean plant doesn't take you all the way there. By the time you have to climb that wall, you know, Epona, please, just go down the hill. A lot of people, I mean, you can definitely do it that way, but a few years ago I was just kind of thinking of those shortcuts in the Lost Woods and Goron City, places like that, and I just made a horrible turn there. So, what I like to do first, I like to go to Kakariko Village, or not Kakariko, the Kokiri Forest. And, you may have noticed the Goron City warp when we were coming out of the Zora's River one. Oh my god, Epona, really? Please, Epona. The Goron City one, I mean, that you may think, hey, you know what, that probably is a lot closer to the top than if we just went through Kakariko and Death Mountain Trail. But there's more to it than that, actually, because as we saw with the Fire Temple, there is a shortcut to, well, it's not really a shortcut, it's just like another entrance to the Death Mountain crater, that was behind Darunia's throne. And you can actually just go right a little bit from where that entrance takes you out, and you'll be at the top of Death Mountain Trail, and it's great, and it only Like, it just saves you a good deal of time in the long run. You wouldn't think, you know, because it's such a zigzaggy way to go, but I don't know, these shortcuts are pretty sweet. But I was just, like, really surprised that, you know, I don't see, like, I'm not gonna say I've seen, like, a ton of reviewers and Let's Players cover this game. You know, I've seen my fair share, but, you know, it's not like I'm searching YouTube for Ocarina of Time reviews and then, like, going down the list, seeing what's there and everything like that. I'm just saying for, you know, my history of browsing YouTube, watching Let's Plays, watching reviews of the game, I've never really seen anybody mention this, and I always thought it was, kind of weird when I finally discovered it. I didn't think I could possibly be, like, the first person to discover this. But, I don't know. Since I never heard anybody talk about it, I did think, wouldn't it be cool if you did, like, post the first video on YouTube that was like this? I mean, it's not, obviously, but I don't know. Just for the sake of helping someone that's, I don't know, maybe having trouble with it. And then, if I'm not mistaken, did that timer also kind of change numbers after going into the Death Mountain crater? But anyway, there you go. It's a faster way to do the Biggoron side quest for the final part if any of you are having trouble with the last one. So there you go. Really? You brought the eye drops? I'm so relieved. I'm going to use them right now. Then you hear this echo throughout the entire valley. Wow! This is stimulating. It's working great! Now I can get back to my blade business. My work is not very consistent, so I'll give you this to you so you won't forget. After a few days, please return. Wait, just wait patiently. And we got a claim check that's carved out of stone. I think that's funny. So you can, you know, do whatever you want for 3 days, or you can just do the Sun Song 3 times in a row, which is what I'm going to do, because I don't know, I kind of want the Biggoron Sword for the Water Temple, and that's our next thing, so fast forwarding, commence. Not gonna lie, I kind of zoned out just now and wasn't counting how many days it was. Can I pick my sword up now? That sword is my finest work. Ba-da-ba-bum! And then we got the Biggoron Sword. Biggoron Sword is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. The only thing that sucks is can't use your shield. I mean, if you don't have it out, you can use your shield, but when you take it out, it's a two-handed weapon, so you're just gonna be doing the adult version of the Kid Link Hylian shield thing. And also, he has like a cool pose when he charges it up for a spin attack too. But anyway, whoop, didn't mean to talk to you. Thank you. So, that's accomplished. Let's go take care of the water temple. So we gotta get water back in that lake. No, I gotta say, I mean, of all the changes that happens in the world after you finish a dungeon, I mean, granted, it's not always, you know, that much of a change. But when I see the lake fill up while Sheik is waiting for Link to appear from the sky again, like, that's probably, like, one of my favorite moments from this game. But anyway, this is all that's left of Lake Hylia, this little pool of water here. And we're gonna have to do the Iron Boot thing a lot. So come down here, and for whatever strange reason, the only item you can use underwater is the hook shot. And, well, the long shot when we get it in this temple. And thank God when we get it in this temple, because hook shot always feels very slow to me. I mean, not slow, short. I'm so bad with words today. Alright, so the thing people hate most about this temple is the taking on and off of iron boots. Let's just get it out of the way right now. Yeah, it's a little tedious, but you know what? We know we gotta do it. So let's just deal with it. Now, I want to just say this up front too, and I know I mentioned this in a previous video, but I actually do like the water temple. One of the things I like best about Ocarina of Time is the atmosphere. Especially in the dungeons. The dungeons all feel very unique to me. And I do like the water temple. I like the effects of, like, the water running along the walls and stuff like that. I always thought that was cool. It reminds me of being, like, in a pool at nighttime. But, oh my god, it's Princess Ruto and she's all grown up. Oh, you. If I'm right, Link! You're Link, aren't you? It's me, your fiancé, Ruto, Princess of the Zoras. Did you forget? I never forgot the vows we made to each other 7 years ago. You're a terrible man to have kept me waiting for these 7 long years. But now is not the time to talk about love. I'm sure you've already seen it. Zora's domain, totally frozen. A young man named Sheik saved me from under the ice. My father and the other Zoras have not yet. I rescued your dad, actually. I want to save them all. I want to save Zora's domain. You have to help me. This is a request from me, the woman who's going to be your wife. Link, you have to help me destroy the evil monster in the temple, okay? Inside the water temple, there are 3 places where you can change the water level. I'll lead the way. Follow me, quickly. So, unfortunately, like, the same thing with Darunia, we're not going to be, like, solving this temple together. That is one thing that Egoraptor said in his sequelitis that I thought would have been pretty cool, actually, at least for one of the temples, but ironically, when they do it in Wind Waker, everybody seems to not care for it that much, so, oh well. So here's the thing about this temple. It has 3 different places where you have to play Zelda's Lullaby in front of it to change the water level, and the first one is right here. And this is going to be the main thing you're going to be doing in the temple. You're going to be changing the water levels up and down so you can access different parts of the temple. And it's going to involve, you know, depending on what the water level is, it will affect on what you can access. And this is another reason why people really don't like this temple very much, because in addition to the tediousness of the, you know, putting the iron boots on and off, you've also got it's probably definitely the most complicated dungeon in the game as well. However, you know who, my big hero, because I can't go like one video without mentioning his name, but Nintendo Capri Sun's Let's Play did provide an easy thing to keep in mind to help you navigate the temple. And the dungeon map, we can actually show it off pretty easily. So, this main hub that we're in, or not in right now, but the room with the square in the middle, you can think of that as the hub. And there are north, south, east, and west exits for everything that's there. So basically, if you're stuck, have the water level go to one spot, explore all that you can in each of the 4 directions, and when you've exhausted all your options, raise the level, do it again, and so on and so forth. And eventually, you'll get through the dungeon just fine. I mean, it may seem tedious and whatever, but I don't know. That's one way I like to look at it, and I don't know. It does help me get through here as well. Before we leave here, we're also gonna do this. You can light these torches up with arrows. There's not really a lot. Oh, did I get it? Oh, I did get it. I thought it was just the arrow that was... Oh, never mind. And what's in here? Is it a key? I'm gonna guess it's a key. Oh, it's clams. But I'm allergic to clams. Open your mouth. Oh. Yeah, these things can be annoying. In fact, using the Biggoron Sword might be the best. It might be better off just using the hookshot. If they will, like, let me attack them. Thank you. Oh. Come on. Okay. What happened there? Oh, it just spawned on me, that's why. Okay, so let's pick ourselves up a key. Yeah, that's one of the worst feelings in this dungeon too, if you get a key, or if you get to a locked door at the end of like a lot of exploring and you realize you don't have a key. Because it's not just backtracking through the dungeon that you need to do, you also have to, you know, go through different levels by controlling the water at different parts too. If you have Farore's Wind, the very top one is a place I would recommend putting that on. I don't think we can do anything here just yet, but we can blow this up for now. Kaboom! I don't know why I put my shield up. I'm just so used to using the bomb mask and Majora's Mask and then putting the shield up at the same time. I kind of just think, you know. Can we, push this in? Oh, this is that weird... One of these blocks you push in at a certain point, and you don't come to push it back until, like, much later in the dungeon as well. Oh. What's down here? Let's take a look by equipping the iron boots. I will say, Wind Waker, making iron boots a C button item was a definite good change. I'm not saying that the switching between them is annoying, but like, I don't know, I don't think it's that annoying. 'Cause like, how do I explain this? So like early in YouTube, I feel like a lot of the jokes about the water temple were just like, oh, remember this in Ocarina of Time? And they just, you know, made jokes or whatever. Then I feel like after a while, it kind of expanded, and we need to do a bomb on that. Or I don't think we have to do a bomb on it at all. I think we can just jump on the platform. It rises up. Well, it'll act as a platform, but I feel like over time, the annoyance of the water temple kind of just started getting a little too much. Like, I don't know, how do I explain this? This sounds so stupid. Like, I feel like it's just something a lot of people complain about just because so many other people have complained about it already. That it just honestly feels like just something they're doing just for the sake of doing. Like, you talk to, like, any Ocarina of Time fan right now, and I feel like the first thing they're gonna say is, like, oh no, the water temple, the dreaded water temple, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, I don't know. I've never found it to be so horrible. I feel like it started as, like, a joke, being because it was, like, an annoying part of the game, and then just people just kept hyping it up to be this terrible experience that honestly, I just honestly don't feel is terrible at all. It's a little annoying, and that's all there is to it, but I feel like there's a lot, I don't know, when Mark Brown did his boss keys thing for it, I'm glad he actually said that Water Temple is probably, like, one of the best designed dungeons in the game. It's just, you know, this iron boot thing, and traveling in it isn't always, you know, ideal. I'm honestly surprised more people don't complain about the Great Bay Temple in Majora's Mask. And that's another temple I do like too. But if I'm going to be totally honest, I think that one is so much more confusing and hard to understand than the Water Temple is. Like, I don't know how I would have gotten through that without a guide when I was a kid. But I'm sure I would have dealt with it. Got 2 keys now. I'm curious to play the 3DS version, because I heard they made some changes to make doing the Water Temple easier. And I want to see how much easier it really is. I mean, I just kind of want to see Ocarina of Time 3D. Oh, I have to hook shot up here. Oh, I kind of just want to see Ocarina of Time 3D to start with. I initially really wasn't a fan of how it looked. Like, I like the N64 polygon thing. I think, part of the charm of going back to Ocarina of Time is to relive Nintendo 64 days. And I don't know, something just kind of seemed off when I looked at, you know, Link's model and everything. When 3D first came out. But I don't know, I'll admit part of me maybe just kind of wanting to cling to what I knew already. Although I do think it's weird, for as many good reviews as Ocarina of Time 3D got... Oh, we can't reach this until we get a long shot. As many good reviews as it did get, whenever I see people still, like, reviewing Ocarina of Time, or, you know, Let's Playing it, they're usually doing the N64 version. I don't know, maybe it's because it's easier to emulate, or something, but, I don't know. I also liked how the bottom of the water temple was, like, beachy. But anyway, so I think this is going to be it for an episode. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. If you came in looking for the Biggoron Sword, easy part to the last one, thanks for watching the video. I'll see everybody else in the next episode, though, and we're going to continue on with the water temple, and hopefully have a good time. I don't know. Maybe we won't, because it is the dreaded water temple after all, and I have to press start and take off my boots and put them on, and there's so much waiting in Ocarina. Bye.